But let's get into it. Let's get into the match preview. Everton against Tottenham. Like I keep saying, it's Spurs' last ever trip to Goodison Park until they move into their new stadium in Mockdor. I can't remember what it's called, their new stadium, but it's looking great if you've seen any of the pictures or anything like that. Nothing on the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, but still looking like a really good one on the river there in Liverpool. So, yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to going there next season. But look, it's a very difficult game. You're looking at what the two teams are doing at the moment, right? Everton just got David Moyes in. This is going to be a second game in charge. They're 16th in the league. We're 14th in the league. Both teams not on great form by any stretch of the imagination. They're on 17 points, played 20. We're on 24 games, played 21. So if they beat us, all of a sudden, they're 4 points behind us with a game in hand, albeit their game in hand is against Liverpool. But they do tend to pick up points against Liverpool at home.
And they tend to, well, it's a weird one. Against us, they've won one of their last 24 games, apparently, Everton.
Yeah.
So they have a terrible record when they play us. And at Goodison Park, I think they haven't beaten us. They beat us in the FA Cup back in under Jose in 2021, and then they haven't beaten us there since like 2012.
Yeah, it was that game when they scored 2 goals in stoppage time with Stephen Pienaar and someone else.
So we do have a good record, but we also are on a historically low run of form right now.
We also haven't won there in a long time as well.
Yeah, a lot of draws. There have been a lot of draws. And a draw wouldn't be a great result for us this weekend. We need to win, but they're going to be up for it. Moyes is it's a second home game, and they did kind of have the same problems in their first home game as they've had all season. Really struggled to kind of create chances, really struggled to the quality in the final third. Calvert-Lewin missing sitters. Villa deservedly won that game 1-0, and it was fairly comfortable, albeit the scoreline suggests it was quite close. And Everton had their chances, but Villa definitely deserved the win, I think. So David Moyes said after the game, this result didn't have a lot to do with David Moyes because I've only just come in and it's been 2 days. I've just got to find a way to get this team to score goals. He already seems to be scratching his head to see how this team is going to score goals. But, just when you need them, Dr. Tottenham always around the corner, aren't they?
Yeah, and talking of Dr. Tottenham, you've got Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who hasn't scored in the last 14 or 16, I can't remember the number, 16 games in the Premier League. And David Moyes, when he first came in, he says that Dominic Calvert-Lewin could be the guy to spearhead the attack, and he backs him to get the goals. So let's hope that doesn't start this weekend.
Of course, and there's just classic Tottenham storylines that it's all written there again. How many times we've gone into games like this, even beginning of the season with Ipswich and Palace, who hadn't won a game and they had their first wins, and then now you got David Moyes coming here. And it's his, he's looking for his first win, and Everton have got one goal in their last 10 games or something. So it's all written there for Everton to win 100%. But we need to go there, and we need to absolutely show up, because this is these are a massive few weeks for Ange and a massive few weeks for the club. We need to build some sort of momentum going into that semi-final. We need to somehow start clawing our way back up that league. We need to get points on the board. We need to get some sort of good feeling back at this club. And the only way to do that is wins. There's no other way to do that. So I'm sure Ange is under no illusion. I'm sure the players under no illusion that we need to win this game 100%.
Yeah, and if you bring up the form table, obviously it doesn't make for good reading. Pretty much carbon copy forms. Well, actually, Everton are a point better than us a draw better than us in the last 5 games. The difference is that we're able to score. They're not, but we are conceding a lot more than them. So they will be a tough nut to crack, particularly at Goodison with the home crowd behind them. They'll be up for it. But Spurs just need to dust themselves off somehow and just kind of muster up some sort of a performance where we can go and win the game. And just, if it does carry on the form that Everton have been on and they struggle to score goals, I do back Spurs to get on the score sheet. So we just, Spurs don't keep clean sheets though.
Yeah, we don't, and especially recently, we've really struggled defensively, just stopping the opposition. We do have tended to concede at least a goal in our last few games, especially against the better teams. We conceded at least 2 goals. Obviously, Everton, that's been their massive Achilles heel. So I'm less worried that they're going to score loads of goals. But again, set pieces, are we going to be under fire from them? We did concede 1 against Arsenal. So that's obviously a massive worry. I know Kinski's done well, but it's not always just about the keeper, whether you concede or not. It's about defenders picking up their positions, about defenders being bullied. It's not just about whether the keeper can come for a cross, whether you concede one or not. There's other aspects going into it, and that's one thing I'm definitely worried about. Hopefully Davis coming in might be able to relieve a bit of that, but Everton are still with those big centre-backs up there, Tarkowski and Michael Keane and Bramthwaite. They got some serious physicality in the defence. So those players I'm definitely worried about from set pieces. We just got to make sure we're not giving away corners, we're not giving away stupid free kicks, which is something we didn't do against Arsenal. We just kept giving them opportunities to swing the ball in, and obviously we paid the price from one of them. But hopefully, I think this game is probably, in terms of how the last few games in a weird way have gone, where we haven't actually had the majority of possession in the last few games. This is probably going to be a bit different. We will probably have a lot of the possession. We will be kind of Everton in a low block. We'll be asked to breaking them down, and we're going to need as much quality as possible. I think, as we say so often with Tottenham, and I know we did against Arsenal when it didn't help in the end, but an early goal would really change the game plan for Everton. I think their game plan is going to be just try and contain Tottenham, keep them arm's length, and then go for set pieces and counter attacks and swing the ball in when you can. That's going to be what they're going to try and do, and that's an effective tactic. It's pretty much what a few teams have done to us, and we've struggled against it. So that's something we just have to be prepared for in this game, and we have to try and force them into mistakes. We've got to find moments of quality. That's the aim of the game in this one. It's going to be difficult, but we're going to have to do it.
Yeah, I mean, the general rule of thumb for Spurs-Everton games is that Spurs have won at the Tottenham Hotspur or at home, and Everton have won at Goodison Park, as you can see by the head-to-head here. 3 wins at home, 2 draws away. A draw's not good enough for us in this game. We really want to set some daylight between us and Everton. It's crazy to say it, but that's the situation we're in. We're playing 2 teams now on the trot where they're below us, and we can't afford to slip any further down the table than we are. Already where we are right now, in 14th in the table, is a complete embarrassment. And we're playing a team now in 16th. Like I said before, if they win, they can go 4 points behind us. And it's getting a bit scary. It is getting a bit scary where we are in this league table. So we need to start picking up points. We need to start climbing up the league table to make it somewhat kind of respectable, even though we're still miles away from a respectable standing in the league. But in such a strange fashion, we've actually been picked up. I think we've picked up more points away from home than at home, in the last couple of months. We've had our last 2 wins, 4-0 against Man City and 5-0 against Southampton, both away from home.
Well, you know what's funny as well? Before the Arsenal game, we had the best defensive record away from home in the whole league.
I know, it's mad.
Which definitely doesn't fly into the face of that we just are so open and concede loads and loads of goals when you have that record away from home. It's crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, regardless of that record, we just haven't picked up anywhere near enough points away from home.
No, but still, I'm saying you wouldn't have expected that.
You wouldn't have expected it, but I don't think you can sit there and say it's impressive when we hardly pick up points.
I never said it's impressive. I'm just saying it goes against the narrative that we're just completely open and it's so easy to score against us when we've the best record away from home defensively.
It's true, and we've conceded. What's it? 1 goal less at this current moment of time than Arsenal away from home, but the reality is they've picked up double the amount of points as us.
Yeah, and that is the reality. And again, there's been a lot of fine margins, but we need to start getting points on the board. We need to start getting wins on the board. I think we know that this run can't continue forever, and something has to change. We have to start getting results now. The last 6 games in the Premier League, we've played the top 5. And the other one was obviously Wolves, which we obviously should have won that game. But the other, that we've played 5 of the top 6. So we've had an extremely difficult run, on top of obviously the injury crisis and centre-backs and all those different problems. That's why we've on the form that we're on. And that has to change. Now we've got a chance against a team at the bottom. I know they're going to be up for it. I know it's not going to be an easy game. And I know they're going to be right up for it. The fans, David Moyes, back at the helm, he's going to make it very, very difficult. You got to remember when David Moyes under Everton back in the day, it was just one of those games where it doesn't matter where they were in the league, it doesn't matter how well they were doing. it was always a difficult game. It was always a tough game going to Goodison Park. Even now, even recently, I know we haven't lost there, but we've got a lot of draws. It's always a difficult game. But David Moyes' Everton was just a game you always knew you were in for a game whenever you played them. So definitely it's going to be difficult. But maybe we can take advantage of a bit of a teething period for them, and he's not got any striker signings in that he's bemoaning, and Bro just picked up an injury, so they're relying on Calvert-Lewin, and he hasn't scored in 16 games. That's something we have to try and take advantage of, because it's going to be a very, very difficult game for sure.
Yeah, and on the flip side of that, the way from an Everton fan perspective, they probably are licking their lips at the sight of playing us right now with the form that we're on. Sitting there 14th in the league, they're probably thinking, what a better team to face than Tottenham to get us back on form and get us some points.
Yeah, I'm sure they fancied their chances. Why wouldn't they? We're losing games left, right, and centre. We've got a centre back pairing who are very, very young, and they'll probably look at that thinking, can we bully them? We've got a tiring front line as well on top of that. So that midfield three. That's where the game could be won and lost. And they got Decore, Guehi, Mangala in that midfield three. We're predicting very, very physical midfield three. And I know we're going to have potentially Berg, Valsar, and Maddison. That is where we're going to have to make the difference. And from a physical point of view, they might fancy their chances to dominate there. But we just got to make sure we're playing around their press. We got to make sure that we're showing all the quality that we have, because they're going to be right up for it. There's going to be nothing left on the pitch for Everton. I'm certain of that. So we're going to have to match that energy somehow.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're looking at that lineup, right? You mentioned the aggressive midfield. A player that I've actually been fairly impressed with is Ndiaye, Ilman Ndiaye for Everton. I think he's actually a really... he's a good player, man. He's a tricky customer, quite fast as well. Not really someone that you associate with Everton, with this team.
I think he's a really good dribbler. I think he's got most successful dribbles or up there in the league this season. He's up there with the most successful dribbles in the league. So clearly, when he takes on his man, very, very good at one-on-one situations. Obviously, that's something that Porro has struggled in recent weeks for sure. So if Porro does start, that's something that he's going to have to work. That's also maybe another reason to put Spence on the right. He can probably deal with that situation a bit better. He's been brilliant. However, his effectiveness in the final third is definitely frustrating. He's one of those players, again, really good at dribbling, but once he gets in the final third, he flatters to deceive a lot of the time, albeit it does show quality on occasion. I think his goal return, assist return is probably not strong this season.
Yeah, but is that because of quality of player, or is that because of tactics and what Everton have been doing this season?
Well, I think he's missed a lot of chances. Yeah, he probably sets up a few chances for his teammates, but as well, he's got himself in positions to score, and the finishing's been very poor from him. So I do think that's definitely contributed. And I'm not saying he's a bad player or anything. He definitely can be a frustrating player, but he's also a very exciting player to watch. And he's definitely one we're going to have to watch out for.
Another player as well, Abdoulaye Decore. I thought he had a really strong start to the season, has tailed off a little bit in the latter stage of the Dyche reign. But he's a player that we got to watch out for, because he's such a threat from those set pieces, such a physical player. And, he's definitely going to be causing us problems.
I think in transition as well, he's such a strong runner. He picks up the ball, he drives into space. He's so strong. He's hard to shove off the ball, and he makes his late runs into the box as well, unmarked. And he can actually be quite a powerful finisher when he gets in those positions. And he's been playing in the number 10 for Dyche. Is he going to continue doing that for Moyes? We'll have to wait and see. Did he play there against Villa?
Yeah.
So if you play there against Villa, that's probably going to continue. So he's definitely one I would also be quite worried about. And that midfield three, they're very, very physical. And we're not obviously going to have no Bentancur. Basuma's probably not going to play, so that's a lot of physicality coming out of our midfield. So we're going to have to find another way to compete with them, and it's going to have to be through quality. When they're pressing us, when Decore's running at our midfielders, they're going to have to show their quality to get around them, and that's the only way to do it. And they can do it because they've shown they can do it, but right now it's difficult.
We're going to get the win?
We're going to get the win.
Yeah? You're sure about that?
2-0.
2-0, you reckon?
2-0. Look, Everton, I'm just going to bank on the fact I know we're Dr. Tottenham, and I know that if Everton have got 1 goal in 5 games, and they'll probably fancy their chances to score against us. I'm just going to bank on the fact we'll have lots of possession. We're going to really restrict them into not a lot of chances, and hopefully when they do get those chances, they'll scuff them because they're not confident in front of goal. and I'm going to bank on the fact we'll just find a moment of quality, or maybe if we can somehow open the scoring, that can go a long way to us winning the game. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 win to Spurs.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not. I'm going to go for 1-1. I think it's going to be a draw. I think it's going to be two sides low on confidence going up against each other. David Moyes coming back to the club might give them a bit extra. But yeah, I think we find it hard to go to Goodison at the best of times. And with the injuries and the fatigue and everything going into it, I feel like I'm just not confident that Spurs can go up there and get the 3 points. Let's hope I'm wrong. But yeah, it just seems to be the rule that every time we go up to Goodison, we seem to just nick a draw. Last time...
To be fair, they've been getting a lot of last-minute equalisers.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And Richarlison, I think, he went up... He probably had his best game in a Spurs shirt up at Goodison last year. 2 brilliant goals. So I hope he can play a big part in this game and get on the score sheet.
Definitely. I wonder if he's considering putting Rishi on the left here. And because he came on the left against... Arsenal when he did all right, so I wonder if he's considering that with Solanke up front. We'll have to wait and see.
Was it last year as well in the last minute? Was it when Kulusevski just gave away that stupid free kick and then it was Jared Branthwaite, wasn't it, that got on the score sheet? So we just got to not give away these stupid set pieces 100%. That we gave away against Arsenal.
That's vital, absolutely vital, those set pieces, just making sure that we don't. If it's giving away a set piece, make sure it's absolutely necessary. No sloppy. None of this barging people in the back, or when players are going into blind alleys, you foul them for no reason. Just make sure you're just keeping your concentration, and that can go a long way to keeping them quiet.
All right, so there you have it. That is our match preview going into the Everton game at Goodison Park on Sunday. What time's kickoff?
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock kickoff. Sim is making his way up to Goodison Park. I'll be here in the studio for the watch along with Amir. So very much looking forward to that. So come and join me on the watch along around 1:45 on Sunday. That is our preview. I'm going 1-1. Sim's going for a 2-0 win to Tottenham Hotspur. Let me know your score predictions in the comment section below.